considered. Patrick Mahomes' passing yards total is 273.5. We go more or less.
More. The opportunities are going to be there. Fourth most passing attempts per game this season. Why? Kansas City's been ineffective running the ball, and they're not blowing people out, so they're throwing for the full 4 quarters. Colts have been allowing the 7th most passing yards per game this season, so there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Mahomes as the Chiefs play from behind in this one.
How about Indiana Jones? 1.5 passing touchdowns is his total. We go more or less.
We're going to go less here. This number isn't as easy to eclipse as some people think. Jones has only hit it 4 of 10 games this year. Kansas City's only allowed it 2 of 10 games this season. The path for the Colts is going to be to run the football early and run the football often. If they're scoring, it's going to be on the ground.
And then how about Jonathan Taylor, who's been sensational? His rushing total, 91.5 yards.
This is where we play the more. Workhorse running back, #1 in the NFL in rushing attempts per game, coming off a bye, rested, in a situation where he's going to see a ton of workload. Kansas City's been good against the run, not great. About 18th in the NFL in opponent yards per rushing attempts. So as long as we get the opportunities, I see a 100-yard day here.
All right. If you like Joe's picks, they're a parlay. We're going over on Mahomes, under on Jones, over on JT. If you like them, they're a parlay at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Look for the more or less featured parlay on the homepage and in the parlay lounge. Meanwhile, let's dive into this game. Dan, the Colts have been great, but all year long we keep saying, well, wait until he has to face Patrick in the playoffs. As it turns out, here we are before Thanksgiving, and it's the Chiefs who desperately need to win this game. Are they going to?
No, I'm taking Indy, and because Indy's run game is the Eagles' run game of last year. It's the best big play run game in the NFL, in part because it's the most athletic offensive line in the NFL. And I think that's going to be a huge challenge. Yesterday we talked about Tyler Warren and how he matches up. Tanner Bortolini is the big deal for me, okay? Jonathan Taylor in the gun. He's one of the rare centers that you could pull in the NFL. What that does, it creates angles for your offensive line. It also creates voids in a defense because athletically you got to move so sideline to sideline. There's a big chunk run. I mentioned Philly last year because Philly consistently had, it felt like game to game, a 60-yard touchdown run where Saquon would make this massive run out of maybe a 5-yarder. You get the defense to overcommit, something Kansas City's going to do because you have to stop the run. Jonathan Taylor's strength constantly keeps his feet going, and then his ability to win in the open field, one-on-one tackling, while also running away from defenders, has been something we have not talked about enough this year. Their ability or willingness to block downfield is a all-11. This Kansas City defense is good. It's not what it has been in the past. I think the big play run element of Indianapolis is a huge deciding factor.
Let's talk about how significant it would be if Dan is right. Can we put up B17, please? The Chiefs are fighting for their playoff lives. If they lose this game, their chance of making the playoffs fall to 35%. There's a 2-3 chance, Bart Scott, that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce miss the playoffs. Are we seeing the end of what has been an extraordinary, historic run in KC?
I think we are. We've seen this before, right? History kind of repeats itself sometimes. We saw this in New England where, Tom Brady had different iterations of greatness. I think the window is still open whenever you have Patrick Mahomes, but it's time for a reset. You talk about guys like Chris Jones, you talk about Travis Kelce, they're on their last leg, and they're trying to squeeze out another Super Bowl on the way. I think it's over, but they'll be back. And I think right now you have a teams that don't fear them anymore because they know they're not a legitimate threat. I think their fate was sealed when they decided to hold on to the 4th-round draft pick and not give up the 3rd for Breece Hall. This team is one-dimensional, too dependent on Patrick Mahomes, and his defense isn't what it once was.
We could put the picks up on the screen because we do have some who are not ready to give up on Kansas City. Even though you picked Denver to win the division, you like KC Sunday.
I do, and part of it is because Patrick Mahomes, I called that game versus the Denver Broncos, and outside of his first throw, the next 3 were misses by Mahomes. He missed Xavier Worthy on a post route. He missed Tyquan Thornton on a go route down the sidelines. And then it was a miscommunication between him and Noah Gray in the middle of the football field. And check out this first one. This is Xavier Worthy. How many times have we seen Patrick Mahomes in his career miss a wide open wide receiver? Xavier Worthy runs a 4-2-1. And then check out this one. This is Tyquan Thornton down the sidelines. I'm so accustomed to seeing Mahomes do this in his entire career. You got to make these plays. And then when he got down to the tight red zone in the 3rd quarter, he turned the football over. So for Patrick Mahomes, he has to be on his P's and Q's. You get into the dance, you have a chance. I'm not really to put a seal over him yet.
I'm not ready to declare this season over, AFC West or the AFC in general. They're 0-5 in one-score games. They were 12-0 in those games last year. So you say, well, what's the problem? It's very confusing. They have all the same players. They have all the healthy guys they need. They have all the same coaching staff. Little things matter, though. Guys, they had 10 penalties last week. They don't do that usually.
What?
They had an extra point blocked last week. That doesn't happen. They gave up an 80-yard punt return to Marvin Mims. That doesn't happen against that special teams unit. So the little things are starting to matter. I think they can still tighten up. And I look at this matchup. I know we're ready to crown the Colts and Tanner Bortolini. I know we love a good Tanner Bortolini film. I do. I love it. I love it.
It's a great meatball.
It is good. That said, like, I don't know, Mahomes with the season on the line at Arrowhead, I'll take Mahomes in this game
I'm
on
with
1
you,
o'clock
Peter.
on Sunday.
Me too.
I'm with you. But they're chasing Buffalo. They're chasing Houston.
Fair.
They're chasing Jacksonville, who all have wins over them, at least 2 of the 3. They're chasing the Chargers. They're chasing Baltimore. They're in a hole right now.
No doubt.
Just
They are.
numbers-wise,
No
there's a
doubt.
hole.
If they lose this game, I think they're going to be done. 10 seconds.
Are we talking about the Lure Anarumo effect, too? Remember, he's
Yes.
the guy that's been the kryptonite, and he got what he needed with Sauce. He knows how to play this Kansas City concept offense. I think, it's over for
A
me.
reminder, Lou Anarumo is now the defensive coordinator in Indy. He was in Cincinnati those years when every now and again they went into Arrowhead. Texans later. Orlovsky was absolutely right, and we have tape to show how they did it.
All right, so the 3 most important plays in this football game. Houston's offense not great. The last thing you want to do if you're Josh Allen, throw an interception in your area to give them points. This is the first half interception of why it can't happen for Josh Allen. So this is a good play design. We're just trying to create a high-low. What we're trying to do here is we're going to take that tight end and we're going to clear out this space. Linebacker, you're lifted. Great. So I'm creating what's essentially known as a high-low, meaning I have a receiver deep as the number 1, and I have a check down shallow as the number 2. High-low meaning we're reading it deep to short, and the read for the quarterback is just this defender. It's depth and width. Is he too deep or too wide for me to throw that ball deep? If he is, I'm taking that check down. Now, here's the thing. When Josh throws that football, I want everyone to pay attention to, 1, he's way too deep to throw the ball. 2, his shoulders are turned inside. So as a defender, I can go deep to that throw or drive it shallow. The ball has to get to the tailback for the check down. Josh cannot throw that ball on early downs to give Houston 3 points. The second play, the 4th and 2 in the second half, they go for it. Here's what stands out. Number 1, Buffalo would always get into what we call these cut splits. Why? We're trying to be a blocker on the perimeter. So Houston said, we're not going to allow you to do that. What Houston does on a massive 4th and 2 is because of the cut split, we're going to trigger that corner. When with the corner triggers, so does everybody else on that side of the football, okay? That means that defensive end slants, and then that means this defensive tackle gets the slant. Everyone pay attention to that defensive tackle on 4th and 2 in the second half. What's he do? Blows the play up because of that twist. That right guard gets crushed, and it's a 4th and 2 stop. This, for me, this next play is the play of the game, not the ending the play. So pay attention to 2 people on this. This is Khalil Shakir, and this is Jalen Reed, their rookie safety, 6th-round pick, okay? Now, Shakir's going to go motion into the backfield. This moment is the moment, my favorite play of the game, and it's a credit to this young man. When he goes into the backfield, what does he do? Okay, what's he doing right now? He is now communicating to Will Anderson, hey, Shakir's in the backfield. Shakir's in the backfield. That means you got wide receiver away from you. When does Buffalo get into that? Look at, he's still doing it. Backfield. Why? Because Buffalo loves to take Shakir, put him back here, and leak him out. Will Anderson has to have vision and the awareness of that. Will Anderson had 2.5 sacks. He hunted the quarterback all night.
Right.
Tell me why Will Anderson doesn't rush the quarterback on this play. Pay attention to Will. Why is he not rushing the quarterback on this play?
Because he knows Shakir is going to be over there.
Because the communication from the safety, he knows that Shakir is going to leak from the other side, and then that becomes the batted ball. You think it matters? Look at Shakir. He's going to catch that ball. He's got leverage on that safety. You get a ball out in front, that could be a touchdown, let alone a first down conversion. The awareness from the safety, Jalen Reed, to communicate to Will Anderson on that play wins Houston the game.
That's a really good tape. And it goes to show you, and Bart was saying in our meeting this morning, the Texans defense is not only really good, but they're really disciplined, they're smart, they're well coached, and as a result, they've worked